Can I just do a sound check? Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Hi, Hannah.
hey, how are you guys? It's been a while. I apologize.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, well, it's good to see all your faces again. Um, Seems like it's the usual suspects again. I know Stan reached out to me today, making sure he had the right link. So um, hopefully we will see him as well. But hi, Ron, how are you?
Good.
Have y'all all community members, have y'all had the chance to meet our eco this year, Leander?
I think he was at one of the full commission meetings, but
Nice.
not,
Nice.
not, it's kind of hard to say that we met.
Right, right, absolutely. Um, well, I guess maybe something we can do before we get into full business while we wait is just, I mean, I know y'all, you know me, but if we could just redo introductions for everyone, and then just call out, yeah, I'll start, and then if you just call out the next person on your little mosaic of people, then we can go through. So yeah, I can start. So um, I mean, hello again. It's Hannah. I am no longer in St. Albans. My partner started his PhD at the University of Massachusetts in studying soil science. So we have moved to, oh, wonderful. We have another person. I'll just wait for, is it Jean or Jeannie?
It's
Mhm.
Jean, and thank you for asking.
Hi. Well, welcome, Jean. It's lovely to have you. So
Thank
I was just starting us off with a round of introductions. I was saying I'm Hannah, GIS manager for ACRPC. I'm coming to you live from Northampton, Massachusetts. I'm fully remote while my husband is doing his PhD at University of Mass. So yeah, and I'm just very happy that you all were able to make it here tonight, and I really appreciate your efforts on this, and I'm looking forward for us to get back up and rolling and making progress. Thanks for all of you who did some poking and prodding to me. I needed that, and I appreciate it. So
May
Um,
I ask, am I the only person who's new to this committee, or?
So you are the only person who's new to the committee who is here tonight. I have to look at the list, the full list of folks, but there were Arabella and Deborah and Ron. Correct me if I'm speaking out of turn, but other than that, we've had a few other people come on. But tonight is our first, and in a way, Leander is also kind of new because he is a new Eco AmeriCorps member since the last time we all met.
Great, thank you.
So, Leander, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Leander. I'm the new Eco AmeriCorps. Let's see, I'll be helping to rewrite the natural resources chapter this year.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Leander has already done, and we'll go into this later, but Leander has already done quite a lot of really good work to just update the underlying data that exists already in the natural resource chapter, get us on the ground running to have the best available data, and then we can make decisions further down the road if we need more data or less or different. But at the very least, we'll have updated what already exists. No worries, Jean. We totally understand. Great. Arabella, do you want to go next?
Sure. My name's Arabella Holzapfel. I am on regional planning from the town of Ferrisburg. And been on the Natural Resources Committee since I joined regional planning, whenever that was. I think it might have been more than 10 years ago. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. Glad I'm here. Thanks for getting this back on track, Hannah. And I will toss it to Deborah.
Hi, I'm Deborah Sprague. I am from Moncton. I've been on Addison County Regional Planning for, I think this is going on my third year. And I guess for last year was my first year on the Natural Resources Committee, our commission. Yeah. I also am on the Moncton Conservation Commission and just recently on the Planning Commission. So there's a lot going on. But my heart is in natural resources and the environment. So I'm glad to be on this committee.
Fabulous. Welcome, Stan. I see that you just popped up. So what we're doing right now is just short introductions. Jean, would you like to go next?
Sure. My name is Jean Montross. I am very concerned about our environment, and so this was the committee that was my top choice. I've been the executive director at Hope for the past 25 years. I've worked with low-income populations for close to 40 years, and what I see is that things that impact the environment hurt low-income people first and hardest and last. However, I've got to say that the environment, I think, takes even precedence over people.
Yeah, that's a great point. And one thing I think that would be, I think, a good thing to incorporate as we start to revise the natural resource chapter is to include some additional environmental justice kind of work, concerns and goals, working to address the fact that like very frequently it's the folks who have low income, or folks who are brown, or folks who are like members of the queer community. Those kinds of identities often get hit by our environmental disasters and concerns the hardest. So I really
Great.
appreciate that perspective.
Thanks for yours.
Stan, welcome. Ron, do you want to give your intro next?
Sure. I'm Ron Payne. I am a Middlebury resident, and I'm a community interest delegate from the Otter Creek Audubon Society. And our mission is to protect birds and other wildlife. So natural resources is an obvious fit for me. I think I've been on the commission for about 10 years now. I think it's getting close to 10 years. So
Great. Thank you. Welcome back. Stan, do you want to give just a short introduction, who you are, where you are?
Sure. Stan Grisp. I live in Cornwall. I've been on the commission for probably 20 years. And I've always been interested in environmental issues. That's why I'm on the committee.
Great. Well, I appreciate you all being here, and I appreciate all your efforts. I am going to share a slide deck, mainly because it gives you guys something to look at besides just me, and also it helps organize some thoughts. So, boom, boom, boom. Screens. No. Which one do I want? Sorry, as I work on finding the correct screen to share with you. You know, you'd think that after all of our time online, we would just have it down, but yet. Okay, here we go. Share. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So just to start as an overview of what we are doing as a natural resource committee and what our kind of first and foremost task is for the next year, is that we are in the process of revising the natural resource chapter of the regional plan. So Leander did a great job of pulling together some reference documents that are on the agenda. So at any point you can look at those, but what you have there is the current unadulterated version of the natural resource chapter, the goals and objectives from that chapter that have been pulled out, our revised ones, which I'll talk about soon, and then a working copy of the chapter. And I'll go over all of that, but just as I'm talking about things in this slide, just know that you can access all of those documents through the agenda. So the natural resource chapter, it covers a lot of things. It's one of the most kind of wide-ranging chapters that we have in the regional plan. It's also really long. At the moment, it's 104 pages. I believe that, well, it's important to have details and analysis. I also think that if things are really long, then sometimes they don't get implemented or used as frequently because they're just not as easy to interact with. So it's my goal for us to work to like make it easier to use and refer and like keep this chapter active in people's minds by cutting down on some of that length. So that's just a goal that I have personally moving forward for us. So of the many topics that we are thinking about over this next year, surface and groundwater, ag, forestry, wildlife, plants, natural communities, scenic resources, air quality, mineral and earth resources, and there is now going to be the addition of a flood resilience section. So no small task by any means, but we'll break it down and kind of move through it piece by piece. And just like thinking about how revising all of this is going to go as we go through those piece by piece subject matters. Kind of the way that I've learned from, this is my first time, I will say, my first time revising a chapter. But from staff members like Mike and Katie, who have gone through the process of revising like the transportation and housing chapters of the plan. This is generally how the process goes. So ACRPC staff, so like me and Leander, and also Andrew LaRoe, who is another natural resource planner that we have, will help to facilitate the updates. And then we like give you guys the rough material, toss it over to y'all, get feedback and comments. We then, the ACRPC staff, takes those comments and feedback, creates a second draft, hands it back to you. Eventually we all come together to say, yes, this is great. And then we present it to the community. So like a large part of the research and writing will be done by ACRPC staff, but the like analysis and feedback and direction is provided by y'all. So if there are things as we are going through or you're reading or that you bring because of your own experiences that stick out in your minds as things that should be included or pointed out or gotten rid of, come to me, Leander, and Andrew and say, I need you to research or write about this, and we will do so. Great. So just where we are in the process. The last time the natural resource chapter was updated was 2011. So almost a decade and a half. The goal we have for updating the chapter is to have it done by the end of 2025. And we're starting by reviewing and updating the very basic, like foundational pieces of the chapter, and then building upon that. So the very basic pieces of the chapter are that there are these goals, which are like very high level, like this is what we want to happen with natural resources. Then for each goal, there's some objectives which say, this is the goal. These are specific ways that we want to achieve that goal. And then we start filling in the actual like writing details of like our action steps for how to achieve those objectives and the analysis and the background material. Last year, we as a committee worked to look at the existing goals and objectives for all of the sections that were in the 2011 plan. And we successfully worked to update those goals and objectives. So if you look on the agenda, there is, let me just check what I titled it, the revised goals and objectives. And so those were what we worked together to create. We never wrote new goals and objectives for the new flood resilience section. So that is a to-do. Going back to this, my beep, boop, 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 view slideshow. My vision for what we're going to do going forward for the next meeting is I would love for everyone to just revisit those revised goals and objectives because it's been years since we looked at them. Put your comments in and I will draft a new flood resilience goal and objectives and send them out to y'all to look over and like think about. And then at our next meeting, we can make sure that we still feel good about those revised goals and objectives. Make sure that we feel good about the new draft for the flood resilience goals and objectives. And then that will be what we want to focus on the next meeting. And then we can start the process of doing the action steps. that was a lot of me talking, right? It kind of rapid fire. Does anyone have any questions?
Would you be able to send us what we accomplished last year?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I will share it all again in an email to you guys with kind of a package of what to look at before next meeting. But if you do want to review it before I send that email out, which will be probably tomorrow, it's in the agenda and it's called Revised Goals and Objectives. There's a hyperlink there. I will say also that last year there were some folks who preferred to read and comment on paper, and I totally get that. So if any of you would like a paper copy of the Natural Resource Plan mailed to you, just let me know, and we can make that happen. Anyone else have questions about kind of what our grand vision is for this year? Okay, so for the next meeting, this meeting was largely get us together, make sure that we all can be on the same page, introduce our faces to each other. For the next meeting, and I will send this all out in a packet, in an email. But for the next meeting, just take a moment if you can to skim the existing natural resource section. Again, it's pretty long, but if you just take a look at kind of what it is, what it covers, I think that will be a good foundation for our work together over this next year. And then the real kind of substantive work that I would like each of us to do before we meet together again in April is that I will provide a Google Doc that has the updated goals and objectives we worked on last year, just to make sure that we still feel good about that, and also so that new members have the opportunity to provide their commentary. And I will also provide a new draft flood resilience goal and set of objectives, and I'll ask you for feedback on that. And at the next meeting, we will come together to discuss all of that. Does anyone have any questions about that?
This all sounds very good. Thanks, Hannah.
So, I mean, that's the majority of what I had for us to discuss at this meeting. Oh, one more thing I do want to mention. So because I'm fully remote, I wasn't tuned into changes in the open meeting law requirements. The like exception allowing for fully remote meetings for open meeting law expired at the end of 2024. So to comply with open meeting laws, we will be making a physical location like option for attending the meeting possible. So going forward, starting next month, one of my wonderful fellow ACRPC staff who's closer to the office will make attending in person available. If any of you want to come and see each other face to face at the ACRPC office, we can absolutely do that. And then it will be kind of like the full commission meetings in that me and whoever else is remote will be attending with the meeting owl on the TV, and you guys can be in person. But if you want to continue to attend from your homes, that is fine too. Okay. Does anyone have any other things that they want to say to the group before we adjourn?
I'm one of the people who like to read hard copy. Can you
Okay.
send?
Absolutely. Leander, I'll probably get with you to organize getting that printed out from the printer in the office, if that's okay. Okay. And I guess one last thing, is everyone, would you speak out now if you do not have the ability to access a Google Doc?
Hannah, I have a Google address, but lots of times when I do try to get into a Google Doc, it'll say you have to ask permission, and then I never get in. So I'm not
Okay.
sure what the deal is.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes that just takes some individual troubleshooting, which I'm happy to do. So
Okay.
when I send out the packet,
Mhm.
I will, and if you're not able to get in, I'll say this to everyone, but if you're not able to get in, send me an email and I will troubleshoot that with you, because yeah, sometimes it's, I mean, part of it, we will make this like, yeah, just we'll troubleshoot it and make sure it works.
Okay.
And are you planning that people will go in and, you know, add their own comments to the documents on a Google Drive? We had that with my board of trustees, and I've seen it with other things, and it can be really problematic to some of us. But I don't know what's the alternative for you, catching all the different comments from all of us.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. And it's something that we can work out as a committee. So it absolutely kind of depends on the group that's working together. Some people, like, I think that we're small enough that we may be able to work together on a Google document, and especially when we are in like the just add your comments phase. However, that being said, if people would prefer, and certainly down the line when we kind of have more complex pieces of writing, then we can do individual copies that I can send out to everyone. And if people send them back to me, I can do my work to pull those together, and I don't know if collate's the right word, but like bring them together and synthesize them and put them into one coherent document for us all to see all of those comments together. So processing out loud, my preference, just for like efficiency's sake, would be for us to try all commenting on the updated goals and objectives before next meeting, and we'll see how it goes. If we run into issues, then I'll start breaking it out so that everyone has their own copy, and then I will pull it all together. Does that sound like an okay plan, Jean?
Definitely. And I'd hate to see all of us comment and send them to you to have to add in. That would be a lot. So,
I mean, if that's how it goes, it's how it goes. You know, I don't mind doing it. You know, y'all are volunteering. I get paid to do this, and I also, natural resources. A bit about my background: I'm a forester by training, so getting to work on like management plans and long-term plans, I enjoy, and so I don't mind doing some of that grunt work. But we will try just commenting all together for now. So, thank you for bringing that up, Jean. Anything else? Okay. Well, then, thank you all for coming tonight. I will send out a packet of information with what to work on before next meeting, and also our minutes from tonight. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Leander or Andrew, or, you know, just all of us as a group if you have questions beforehand.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.